Hey everybody, ChristopherOdd here, and this is the Beginner's Guide. If you're not sure what the Beginner's Guide is, then you're pretty much in the same boat as I am. This is a game that was announced 2 days ago by Davey Wreden. If you don't know who Davey Wreden is, he is the creator of the Stanley Parable, one of my most, beloved experiences of all time. Honestly, pretty much a masterpiece the way that played out. So, not a lot of people have details on what's happening in the Beginner's Guide. There's reviews and things that have started to pop up, but I'm staying very far away from those, and I want to go in, just see what happens. So, here we go. This is the Beginner's Guide. Sounds like he's saying set the vibe. So, lights off, headphones on, volume up. Let's go.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Oh my god, this is cool.
Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, This was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
November 2008. Okay. This is so different. Wow, okay. Whoa!
Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
Whisper machine?
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
We'll follow the light. I mean, yeah, what is going on in Coda's brain? This is
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
It
For
does,
instance,
doesn't it?
You have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
And it doesn't make noise.
But ultimately, we don't really know.
It's very
Maybe
quiet.
Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
We're out of bullets.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh my god, that's cool. Whoa. The bottom of the universe. It exists, ladies and gentlemen. It exists. Now, I don't know.
Apparently, the
Whoa.
space station has a labyrinth on it.
Oh my god.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
No, don't do that. Oh. Hold on.
Or if you'd really like to solve the labyrinth, you're welcome to do that too.
Yes. Let's do it. Okay. I want to solve the labyrinth. What do I have to lose, really? Well, time, but... This is the winning tile. No, it isn't. I wonder how much of this is fabricated, and I wonder how much of this is real. Like, if there was a real Coda, or if this is more talking about himself, or... Be interesting. I actually like that it's from his perspective, and then it's him narrating it. Good job, Davey. High five, buddy. Holy, this is a goddamn nightmare is what this is. You probably can't even solve it. Okay, I'm ready to go out now. Could you imagine? Like, this is... Here we go. We made it, I think.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. Turn off the whisper machine.
Hey,
this-
you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Oh, yeah.
So much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
I mean, technically, I could. Technically, I could do that. Is that my only option?
This is not a branching point, unfortunately. The only option is to step into the beam.
Oh my god. But, Davey, are you sure? Good
Let
game.
me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
What? Oh my god. We just come back. It didn't trigger. And each time... Whoa. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. I'm officially done with the guessing.
The beam
there's the
causes
labyrinth.
you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
This is awesome. Okay, we're still in November of 2008. The past was behind her. I can't even walk towards it. I can't walk anywhere. Oh, I can walk backwards.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
You've got to be kidding me. Okay. Shit, well. It is so... honestly, it's a weird sensation, but the future could not be seen.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Okay, and things are changing. Why does the future keep changing? Let's head down here. And when she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Going up. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? Period. Whoa. To confront it.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Still November 2008. Okay. You are now entering. Well, what if we go the other way? Nope, not an option. Maybe we walk backwards the other way. Yeah, okay, I had to try it. What am I entering? Oh.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
I bet you we could have went off the path. Okay, now we're in December.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
I feel like... Okay, well, the obvious thing is we go towards the giant staircase.
I know it's tempting, but there's actually nothing over here. Sorry.
Are we that predictable? My God. And I don't know if I could believe him. Davey or no Davey. I'm checking for myself. Do we have like a failure state? Can we jump from here? I wonder. No, I can't. Okay. Stairway to towers. We're slowing down. Whoa.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Oh, don't do this to me.
So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
What? He's just messing with us. Whoa. Stand on an X staring at a bear for 3 hours. You walk around talking people down without pursuing their hopes and dreams. A button you press to stop the chaos, that doesn't work. You are a gate. A series of lavish
A room
manuals.
that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
That's kind of cool. Like some of these, like you start in a small room until you realize you can just walk through the walls.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
You must address and rally a group of eager press reporters. Live on a boat, taking orders from the captain. The captain's always wrong. Oh. January 2009. Ready, set, fish. Okay. I don't know if we need to be remembering, like, enter to move to speed up and stuff. But it might be worth taking a couple notes. I came here for fishing, and so far, I was disappointed. For some reason, I always feel like I have to look behind us for things that might change.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Great. Well, let's see. Is anything out here changing? We're down here for sure. I'm gonna close ourselves inside. That... Oh!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
What? We got 3 dots.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough.
I don't think so.
All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay. There's
How about
lots
that?
going on.
There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
I don't think it matters. Oh, here we go. Hold on now. Oh, we can't even go off the path. So that idea is... Oh, now we're exiting. Okay.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
March 2009, The Great and Lovely Descent. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. That's beautiful. I like that there's still contours. You can see like a hill.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors.
Yes, it does.
That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Very sharp corners. But then you've got the contrast with the carpets, it's all circles. It's kind of interesting. And then you go into something completely different. Oh my god. It's funny because it's just a drop into darkness. But you kind of feel like you get a sense, actually there's a real sense of depth, and, oh, I don't know if we would die or not. Oh! I wonder... Okay, whoa. Feeling not too confident. Oh! This is really like, what's the word? It's really discomforting for some reason. Like, I'm very uneasy doing this. Come on. Oh. I feel like, is there a bottom? I think there is. We probably could have just jumped off of these and went right to the bottom and had the same outcome. I almost guarantee we could have done that. And there's a glass. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, there's like a little glass wall around this. Is it go? It looks like it connects all the way up here too, so. Oh, that's frustrating. What is that? I mean, his ideas are a little bit twisted, but in like the most minimalistic and clean sense. What is... Oh, what? I'm being herded. Hold on. Oh no, I can't even go that way. Or that way.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yes, please, thank you. What if I hit enter? No? Okay.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
So, I'm pausing here because there's some things that are happening that you might not be able to hear depending on your sound setup. There's some like very deep and rapid bass that's happening. And it's really changing the whole vibe of that room. If you wouldn't be able to hear it. We've got another staircase. Looks like it mimics the other one that we came through. We have the glass wall still. I should have checked to see if there was like a little entrance under the other set of stairs, but three dots again. I don't know if that matters. What do the dots mean?
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
And at the same place where we had that previous puzzle, there were the three dots. I don't know if that's... I also don't know what we can trust and what we can't. I just want to check something here. Yeah, okay, three dots still.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
My thing about that puzzle is that it makes you feel smart. It's super simple, but it makes you feel as if you've done something really complex that wasn't intended to happen. Like, oh, I've tricked it because I've ran through the door before it closes. Oh, well, obviously. And it's like... he's just... I think understanding and poking fun at unintelligible human behavior. And maybe that's too deep, but... we have a focus group. You there, where did you come from up above?
Here,
what was
Coda
up there?
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
World stamp with whiteness. There was an enormous prison I spent hours in, which we skipped. There were these floating colored blocks. Floating colored blocks? World stamp with whiteness. That's the world above. You've been there. It's cool how it's like speak, listen, speak. It rotates. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? I mean, they know. That was literally the last thing we did before coming here. Or let's hold back and see what they say. After all, we've only just met. What? But you don't understand. We're trapped here. The puzzle is our only escape. We need to get through it. You think you want to get through, but trust me, you don't. Let me describe it for you. Let me tell you all about what is over there. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how to solve it. Wonderful. They're waiting. Please speak to me. Tell me how to escape. I must know. It's the most important thing. There must be an ending. Nah, you'd be surprised. Oh, I hate that I can't get up there. block must be stuck on listen. Oh, and okay, well. Wait, what? How did you get here? Or is there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been here the entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. Okay. Why would I sit in the black space? Oh, it's plenty peaceful. It may not seem that way at first, but you'll come to think so in time, eventually. I'm walking backwards. Yeah, okay. I want to touch that thing.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Or is it the final floor of the level? Of course.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
I am totally in, Davey. Totally in.